welcome back to ESG Game. My name is Luke, and this is episode... I've already lost count. Is it 4? It's 4, right? Yeah, 4. 4.
Yeah, I've got it listed
4.
as 4.
I can't... I forgot already. Who cares? I am back with Jake, and Tom's back this time. We do actually have him back. How are you guys doing? You all good?
Do you want to go first, Jake?
Silence.
I was going to say either one.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm sound. How about you, Mr. Tom Tom? And
Yeah, well, I'm good, mate. I'm good. Got a long weekend off, so that's all right.
Nice.
Yeah.
boy, lucky boy.
I know. I'm too lucky, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty nice. I've still got to wait a week and a half until I got actual time off, which I'm dying for because my back is all kinds of not fun.
Yeah, I feel that. I've got till the end of April if we want to go competition mode. Like,
I'd rather not. Like, I just want mine as soon as I can.
Yeah, you know.
My back is screaming constantly.
We've got some good news. 16 days until we can have a beer in the park with 5 friends. I call that a barbecue.
Minus the 1 day it takes to actually put this out, but sure.
Choose your friends wisely, people. Choose the right 5.
I mean, I've only got like 3. So.
Hey.
It's all right, mate. Hey.
And one of them's my PS5. No, I haven't told you one in a minute, actually, PS5. I'm actually talking to my PS5 now.
Yeah.
Got weird.
Now we're worried.
Hey-ho.
Yeah,
Hey-ho.
well.
Hey-ho. It's been another fairly slow week, gaming news-wise. There's only one thing really to talk about. Really. And even then, there's not been a huge amount of news around it. It's just that the Bethesda stuff is all wrapped up now. They are a Microsoft company. I only really want to bring it up because while me and Jake, we play on PC a lot. Yeah, you play on PS4 a bit, I think. Tom, you are exclusively PlayStation.
Yeah.
And are you? I think, if I remember correctly, you're more of a Skyrim guy than a Fallout guy, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah. I never really liked Fallout. I've tried it. It's just, I don't know. Doesn't have the same feeling. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, it generally tends to be one or the other. I've only played Fallout 3. And I really enjoyed Fallout 3. I couldn't get into Oblivion, I think it was. I tried first. I couldn't get into that. I tried Skyrim maybe last year before. Same thing, just couldn't get into it. So I'm more into the offshoots of Bethesda, like your Dooms, your Wolfensteins. Wolfenstein in particular, I've really, really enjoyed. But yeah, no, they're completely a Microsoft company now. They got bought for $7.5 billion monies, which is mad.
I thought it was about like 5,000, but yeah.
I mean, that was the information I gave you.
Yeah, thanks, Jake. Yeah.
Jake's got the inside track for that. That 7 billion was a lie. It's an absolute lie. Bold-faced. It's just Microsoft wanting to look big. But hey, Tom, as you're an Elder Scrolls guy, does it bother you that you're not going to be able to play? Probably not going to be able to play the next one on PlayStation?
It does a little bit. I mean, I love Skyrim, and I've put endless hours into it, even with the like the sort of HD remaster. Sure. Like, I still got it in my PlayStation library, but I played that game to death on PlayStation 3 for so long, but like hundreds and hundreds of hours into it. I was unemployed for some of that time, so yeah, and it's but it was great. I got so much enjoyment out of it, and there's so many varied quest lines and all sorts of stuff you can do. So it does irk me a bit.
Okay. Do you have any feelings either way for this, Jake?
As a person who's not really owned consoles for a very long time, as long as it comes out on PC, like nothing's really a fuss to me. Elder Scrolls, I've got the same thing. Elder Scrolls, Bethesda, I should say, never really got into Fallout. Really struggled to play those games, and I gave them all a good try from Fallout 3 all the way through to 4. So 3 whole games because you got New Vegas in there.
Yeah,
I didn't really know much about them before Oblivion.
Sure.
And I absolutely hated Oblivion. I thought it was a terrible game.
It was a bit of a mess, yeah.
Yeah, really didn't enjoy it. And just on a whim one day, I decided to buy Skyrim, oddly enough, on its launch day, for no real reason. Do you know what, actually, it was one of those weird situations where there was loads of people queuing up outside game shops to pick it up and, you know, get the midnight launch and that. And I just so happened to stumble my way into a 24-hour Asda's, and it was just sat on the side. And I was like, everyone keeps banging on about this. I'll get it.
Just walk past the queue like, yes, suckers.
Yeah. Little did I
Got
know
mine.
that the next year of my life, gaming-wise, was about to be taken over by that game and that game alone. It really did just sort of suck me in. But I think it was probably I was at the right sort of age to get sucked into a game like that. It kind of makes sense. But yeah, I mean, you know, PlayStation can do one. All of their games can come onto PC, and that would be lovely because there's plenty of PlayStation exclusives that I do want to get my hands on, but I don't want to have to fork out for a console.
Yeah, 100%. And if they do come on Steam, then hopefully you could get them through CD keys and get them that bit cheaper.
Yes,
Because that's the main reason. I mean, it's not the main reason, but it's a big reason I play on PC mostly, is because if there's a game I want on PC, either it's on Game Pass or it goes cheap on CD keys, for instance.
Yeah,
I never really got into, like I said, I never got into like Skyrim. I always tended to play the games around it. So I got really into The Witcher, for instance, instead. Granted, that was like 4 or 5 years after Skyrim's launch, but I don't know, I just can't get into... After playing Fallout 3, I just haven't been able to get back into a proper Bethesda RPG like that.
I think for me, like, it was one of the first games on the map that put that sort of genre on the map, that sort of dungeon crawler or, you know, open world kind of... Because, you know, I can't remember when it was in the PlayStation 3's life cycle, but I can't really remember playing anything else that was similar. So I sort of...
It was 2011, so half-ish way through.
Shit, that's 10 years ago. Jesus.
14, rather, I think. Either for 13 or 14 was the PS4. Yeah, no, it's one of the games that is joining Game Pass now because it has to be everywhere. You can play it on Alexa as well now.
What?
Yeah, I know, it's silly. You'd probably be able to play it on a Tesla in a couple of weeks. So.
Alexa, Fuzz Rudar!
Yeah.
It just puts me off them as a company, though, all of that. Like, it drove me insane seeing it everywhere, you know? It's like, amazing game. Was totally down for Special Edition. Didn't actually play Special Edition myself because, again, put too many hours in, but like just everywhere. I mean, even when the company itself is mocking itself for doing it, you know, they just did it too much.
Yeah.
Too much.
No, 100%. I think that was part of the reason I didn't get into it either, because even without playing it, I was sick of seeing it everywhere.
Yeah.
I was just like, why? Like, it
Flogging
just
a
didn't
dead
look like
horse.
it appealed. I just, meh.
But actually, no, is it flogging a dead horse? Because if they weren't making money off of it, they wouldn't do it, would they? So.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, that's one of the things when people are like, why do you keep putting this out? It's like, well, why do you keep buying it?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, look, I can't talk. I said I didn't play the special edition. I did buy the special edition. Oh, no, wait. No, I didn't buy it.
Really?
Steam, you had a free update. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I got it. I bought it like a month or two before the update, and then they announced it. I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, I
probably not going to play that for another
that.
year, but...
Oh, you literally got in there just at the right time for that then.
Mm-hmm. And then I put like 3 hours in, and I was like, okay.
3 hours? Can
Yeah,
you
I
add some
honestly
zeros
don't
to
even
that?
remember. I honestly don't remember. It's just like it just didn't click. I probably just like frame of mind and stuff like that just wasn't right at the time. But it is one I do want to persist with a bit, because I've heard
Yeah.
so many good things about so many of the stories and stuff.
I mean,
I love, like I said, I love like The Witcher and Fable and stuff like that. So it seems like it should be a game that's my thing, but just never clicked.
Yeah.
yeah. I'm hyped for the next one coming out, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've not really been paying too much attention to it, per se.
There's nothing to pay attention to.
I thought they'd announced where it was going to be.
Nah.
Um,
No, I don't think so. There's literally just that one like splash screen trailer.
yeah. I mean, that might as well be. And, well, that's probably enough, I should say, for people
Yeah, I think
to
people have worked it
start,
out.
figuring out what's going on. It's like Total War Warhammer, like the third one. They it was pretty easy to see which way they were going to have to go with it, and it just made sense. But definitely hyped to be able to play that, which is great because it's going to be in my ecosystem and not in Tom's.
Yeah.
Tom will have to get a PC. It's fine.
That will literally never happen.
I mean, not one that's capable of running anything.
Well, yeah,
beyond some audio software. I don't know. I think I'm honestly a bit more interested in what's that spacey one called?
Oh
Starfield?
God, yeah, that
Starfield.
looked so good. Hang on, I think I did
Like,
that.
we haven't really seen anything of it, but it's going to be different from Fallout and Elder Scrolls. So I want to see. I just want to see what it is. I assume we're going to get a reveal this year because they were aiming for this year, so it's probably been pushed back a little bit because of pandemic-y and stuff. But I genuinely think Starfield will still be on PlayStation, because if it was meant to release this year and it's been pushed to like early first half of next year perhaps, that means they've practically finished it on both consoles. So I don't imagine they would throw away 5-6 years of work just because of a brand new deal that's come out. I'd imagine that might be the final cross-platform one rather.
Right. Yeah.
So you might be able to play Starfield, even though we haven't really seen anything about it.
I mean, it probably won't be in my bag because space stuff. Meh.
Sure.
I've never been a space boy.
Yeah, certainly.
You're quite a medieval.
Certainly not. More of a major Tom.
Nice. But I mean, yeah, that's kind of it for the Bethesda stuff. They've kind of confirmed that stuff will be exclusive to anything that can run Game Pass, so basically PC and Xbox consoles, mobile phones, sort of thing. Beyond that, we don't know. We'll see. I doubt. I always thought that everything bar, say, like Elder Scrolls would be. I felt like there would just be one big hitter that they'd have across platform, like they did Minecraft, but I don't know, it seems like they're not even going to do that, which I think is a bold move. I think it's what they should do. Yeah, you pay 7-8 billion for a company. You don't really want your competitors to have a slice of that. But then, if they used it right, they could use it as like an advertisement. It could be, oh, you like this shit? Well, we got loads more over here. Come over. And,
Go. Runs better on Xbox. That could be their tagline for it.
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls 6 runs better on Xbox.
Well,
I mean, they say that
we'll
about
see.
everything, though. Well, I mean, when it doesn't run at all because it's not on PlayStation.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just kind of given.
We shall see.
Anyway, we'll move on before we make Tom.
That's fine. I'm totally over it. Whatever.
It's fine. Maybe I'll, like, when it actually comes out, I should have my new gaming PC by then, so I could stream it and you could watch.
Don't do me any favors, Luke.
Okay, I won't. Okay, left. No.
That doesn't happen anymore.
No, it doesn't, unfortunately.
Well,
I mean, hopefully I'll get my jab soon, so maybe it can. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Times are
Outbreaks
we're
are
slowly
coming.
getting there. Has anyone been playing anything? I know Tom said you haven't been playing a lot.
Well, I say that, but I did get Spyro Reignited trilogy.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, and it's just so pretty, and I bloody adored those games when I was a kid, and
Same.
with my sister Jen, like we absolutely played those games to death. Certainly the third one, where you could
Okay.
do a skateboarding level, because cool at that time.
Yeah.
And holy shit, I swear she treated that game like it was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. And it's a game of Spyro, I think that's probably all she did in that game, but she was fascinated by it and loved it.
I adore the first game. I've 100% that more times than I can remember.
Yeah, see, the first one is one that I played less. I had them all on PS1.
See, I didn't. I only had the first one.
Right. I played 2, I think, more.
Right. 2 was the elusive one. I could not get 2 for the longest time until a friend of mine was just out somewhere. He's like, "Dude, it's here. Do you want me to pick it up?" I'm like, "Yes."
Right.
So I have them all now, and then they were like, "Hey, we're gonna remake them." And I was like, "Okay, sick."
Yeah.
Still got them on PS1 now. So
I have never played a Spyro game.
You haven't lived.
I actually have that trilogy that you said as well.
oh man,
I literally do have it because I intended to. I was like, well, here's a part of childhood that I didn't play.
sure,
Um,
they're great.
yeah, they're just
Very,
sat there
very good.
uninstalled though.
Oh man, I played the first one is really really good. I got into the second one a little bit in the remakes, but it was a bit framey and a bit
Right.
It didn't run too well, but
Well, I mean, the first time I played, it totally crashed my PS4, and I was a bit like, oh, shit. Because that just doesn't really happen on PS4. He's a good boy normally. But yeah, I was like, oh, shit. I mean, it's been fine since I played it. I mean, I got that nostalgia kick, immediately. And then almost immediately after, I was a bit like, am I really going to play this again?
yeah,
It's a bit like the Crash games when they were redone. Great for that little kick, but,
I think that's where I benefit from it though, is because I didn't play the second or third when I was younger.
sure, yeah.
I only have that, the first. So I breezed through that, getting everything. But I was a little disappointed when I tried playing the second one, and it didn't run well.
Right.
So I kind of bounced off of it. But I don't know. I got a new graphics card now. I got more RAM. Maybe it'll be better than it was, but who knows? How is your Resident Evil journey going, Jake?
Yeah, so I completed Resident Evil 0 in a total of 5 hours, which I didn't think was a
Nice.
bad time, considering it's the Resident Evil game I remember the least.
Nice.
Not a hard game by any measure. Good fun though. Resident Evil 1, I did complete that. I can't actually remember what my time was on that one.
Probably 15 minutes.
Yeah, no, I don't think I ever got anywhere near. Some people can complete that in, I think it's under an hour.
Yeah, I think it is, yeah.
Oh,
I
wow.
imagine it is. Let me see. Speed.
Is that legit
run
doing it, or is
Resident
it
Evil?
exploiting bugs and stuff?
I'm not sure. And so any percent completion, which means that you can't use bugs, isn't it now? In speed running categories, 38 minutes
Sure.
40.
That's pretty mad.
Mad. That is insane.
Yeah, that is insane. But yeah, I mean, naturally, I was nowhere near that time.
Which one did you play? The remastered one?
Yeah, the version on Steam is the remastered.
Yeah.
Which is great. Yeah, we were talking about it last time. It's
Yeah. It's very pretty.
definitely the way the game should be played, in my opinion. Unless you do just want that solid kick in the nostalgia dog bollocks.
Wow. That's a phrase you're unlikely to hear. Come back next week.
Yeah.
I'll make that. I feel like I need to make that into a T-shirt or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
The reason I say that is because the dogs
Kicking in the stadium.
the dogs are so much easier to handle in
Oh, right,
remaster
right.
than they are in the
With you.
original game.
Yeah, you just kick
Okay,
him in the
that-
bollocks. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
That links a
sorted.
bit.
Done.
I didn't make that connection in my head. I didn't make the dog connection in my head. I just thought that was extremely random.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you should wish.
No, just-
But yeah, no. So Resident Evil 2, the PlayStation version, and Resident Evil 3, the PlayStation version, isn't available on Steam, unfortunately. Made me quite sad.
Wait, hold on. What do you mean, the original?
Yeah, the originals. Obviously, the remasters are on there, or remakes, whatever we want to call them. But yeah, the originals aren't on there. So it's either I need to dig out the games and a memory card, or I just need to pirate them onto the PC. Yeah, we feel. I mean, I've purchased the games so many times in my life, I wouldn't even feel bad about doing that.
Yeah, and I mean, I think if I remember right, the reason they remade 2 was because they actually lost the source code, so they couldn't actually put it out on Steam and stuff like that. So it might be the case with 3 as well.
That does make sense. But anyway, having said that, I did run through the Resident Evil 2 remake again. Anyway, because again, it's like I say, these games, like once you know the puzzles and you know where you're going, and you know what order to do things in, they just don't really take very long. Like you're never going to beat your first playthrough of a game like that.
Yeah,
which is what I think makes all of the games great, other than Resident Evil 6, because that is a pile of trash.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm yet to get to that one.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm slowly making my way.
Leon's campaign was okay.
You said you liked it, didn't you? Because Jake's in it.
No, he's a. Hey, you trying to make me say bad things about myself? I caught.
Yeah.
I caught myself. The Leon campaign in 6 is passable.
It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Bar that though, I mean, Chris's campaign is absolute tripe.
Yeah. Yeah. Military. Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
Muscles.
And then I don't think I ever actually did Jake's campaign in it, so I've never even completed that game. I don't intend to.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I really hope the way that they're doing the remakes is that they are gonna just go and fix like 5 and 6 and make them what they should have been.
5 is a fine game if you play it with a friend.
Yeah, I don't really have any intention to do that though.
Why not? I've got it here. We can do it. I need to look. I'm gonna get to
got it on
Resident
Steam.
Evil 5 eventually. I need someone to play through it with.
I mean, I'd be down to do that.
Yeah, there you go. Done. Deal.
Easy.
I feel like it'd be fine in that regard, but I want a good story as well. Like co-op, if it's fun, it's fun. It's fine. That's all good.
The DLC for Resident Evil 5, I will say, good story. Ties the main game together a lot better. But yeah.
Oh, was that the stuff with?
Wesker.
Yeah. And... oh yeah, it's like stuff in the. Like the mansion, yeah.
Well, not the mansion.
Not
in
yeah.
a mansion.
Is it the Spencer mansion or something?
Yeah, I mean it looks
Something
way
like
more
that.
like Dracula's castle than it does a mansion, but
I mean that seems to fit. I think.
perfectly fine by me, man. I'm all for Dracula's castle.
I haven't. I'm same boat. I haven't actually been playing that much. I picked up a Razer Kishi, I think they're called. I don't know how to pronounce it,
Kimchi.
but it's like a mobile controller you can attach to your phone. I was using it to play Game Pass. It's fine. It's cool. Don't mind it.
It is what it is.
But hey, it is. I haven't had long to play with it. Like it feels nice. It doesn't feel as cheap as I was expecting it to be fair, but like it's the first time I've properly I say properly, I only played it for like 20 minutes or so. But like I popped on like Forza Horizon, which looked incredible playing it through my phone. I was a bit taken aback by it because I was like,
Yeah, that is pretty mad, isn't it? Like.
yeah, because you just kind of expect, it's running through my phone, but it's obviously it's not hosted through my phone, so it does make sense. It is just, it's weird because it doesn't even scale down. Like, you think being on a smaller screen it would look weird, but it really doesn't. Like there was a bit of lag and a bit of juddering from Forza, but I played a tiny bit of The Witcher 3 on it, and that looked incredible. It was insane. And then I played some of the original Doom, because that's on Game Pass now, which is great. Because like the main reason I picked it up is because I do want to play more, either like older games like Doom or side-scrolling kind of indie games on like through my phone.
Yeah,
because they just feel better in a handheld capacity for me, and I can't play them all on my Switch because I don't want to pay for them all when they're all on Game Pass. Kind of defeats the point of having Game Pass, really.
Yeah, I guess.
When you can get it in the package.
Yeah, exactly. And as much as I like playing on my PC, those sort of games just feel better on a handheld to me, anyway. Otherwise, I was playing a little bit of Splinter Cell not Blacklist, sorry, Double Agent today for a thing we're doing on the other podcast, which was fun because I tried playing it on PC first, and fuck me, it's so bad, so bad on PC. The PC port is horrendous. It crashed twice, and once properly hard crashed. I had to reset my PC, which was fun.
Shit.
So then I set up.
Yeah, I think I've only ever played like one Splinter Cell.
Luckily, I still have a disc. Otherwise,
and even that was a bit
stuck. Because I'm the one that captures the video for this thing we're going to be doing. But luckily, like I said, I still have the disc. It's kind of made me sad because I want more Splinter Cell. And I really don't care if it is just a remake of the originals. I'd love a remake, but I'm missing playing a Splinter Cell game. We haven't had one in like 7 years, I think it was, since Blacklist came out, and I'm itching for one and have been for so long. Just absolutely dying for one. But I don't know when we're gonna get one. I've heard so many things about that they had one in development like 2, 3, 4 years ago and canned it. It's just it hurts because I love that franchise and it's just kind of died. It's either like they don't know what to do with it, or they just don't want to do anything with it because the sales just kind of dried up quite a lot towards the end. And there was a lot of backlash when the last one, when they changed the voice actor, because it's normally Michael Ironside, but the dude's in his 70s. It's like, let him chill. He doesn't need to do the voice for everything anymore.
Let him go.
Get a new guy.
Just let him go.
Let him retire. He might even be older. It might be 80s. I don't remember because it was a while ago I looked it up. But it's a voice. And they kind of did the same thing with Snake, but I'm just quite sad now because I really want a proper Splinter Cell, which sucks, but hey,
I can take or leave Splinter Cell. I've always kind of felt that way about the Splinter Cell games. Nothing against them.
Are you much into stealth?
Pardon?
You much into stealth games?
As far as tactical espionage goes, Metal Gear.
I love all those games. I love Hitman, Metal Gear.
Yeah, I didn't really like Hitman very much.
I don't go that deep.
Sure.
It's
man, I love those games. Absolutely dying for a new one.
I guess Rampage mode in Grand Theft Auto kind of took like silence away from me at a young age.
Sure.
Like, if I can get in a car and mow people down, then
that's where I'm going.
To do that over sneak through a building.
I don't know. Like, it's the puzzle element that's fun to me, though.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
so
I get
big on
properly
puzzles.
OCD about it. Like, if I get seen, I have to restart the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Really bothered me.
Yeah. So you set yourself your own sort of like limitations.
If I even get spotted once, if I'm supposed to be doing like a proper stealthy bit, I just restart the section.
Oh yeah, I can understand that completely.
Fair, I did that in.
I was literally only trying to capture half an hour, and it took me like 3 hours because I kept getting spotted.
Yeah, I did that in Metal Gear Solid 3. I was trying to get the big boss finish, which requires 0 alerts, 0 spots, 0 killing.
Yeah, no chance.
Yeah, I wouldn't even.
Yeah, I didn't do bad. I got to the point where, and actually, I did really fucking well, and I think that's the thing that annoys me more. I would have rather done really bad, but I got. Yeah, you can't save either, can you? So Yeah, I got all the way up to that like mountain pass where you're coming up to the top, basically to face off right at the end of the game, and
Man.
yeah, I got spotted like going through the trenches, and that was it. That was like that run dead, and I
You
was
got
leaving.
spotted in the most like nonsense area.
Yeah. I was leaving the game paused and going to school. Like, I was committed to it. I was like, no, this is going to happen. Pause the game, go off. Because, I was never a speed runner. I
sure.
couldn't speed run that game. I knew the way that I played that game and the ways that I went, and especially trying not to be spotted. Naturally, you do take a lot more time. But
Had you already played the game like normally at that point?
Oh, yeah. I'd played the game to death. That's why I decided to go for it.
Cool. Fair. Well, I mean, speaking of older games, since, again, there isn't a lot of news to go into, I thought we'd go kind of build off of last week and just talk about some of our favourite games and why we like them, sort of thing. I think we'll go with Tom. What is, maybe not one, but what are some of your favourite games?
Well, it's also, it comes from an early age as well, and it's one that I thought of from after last week.
Yeah.
And it's Broken Sword and Discworld.
Okay.
The little like point and click adventures, I always just absolutely loved them. Whether it was on PC or PlayStation or however I had them, I just bloody loved them. I played I think it was like fan made. It's like A Serpent's Curse, which was released on PlayStation on the library. It bloody great. Really enjoyed it. And Grim Fandango as well.
Oh.
Because you don't see those games anymore, and they are a sort of rarity, and they are a genre that sort of died out. Probably died out with like LucasArts games with like Monkey Island and what was the other one, like Full Throttle, and all these kinds of little games were just had this real sort of tongue-in-cheek charm to them, but were just really nice to just sort of sit down and just get immersed in that story and just investigate.
I played one not too long ago called Kentucky Route Zero. It's probably the closest I've played to an actual point and click in a very long time. But I miss point and clicks. They were so much fun.
They do have that real charm. I mean, they're very 90s, but
oh yeah. But I feel like there's ways you can adapt them and bring them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Just I'd assume there are people that have like are far smarter than me that can think of interesting ways of bringing that to like these days, doing something interesting with that mechanic. I miss those. I would love a new series of point and click. I guess like I can't remember, I guess did anyone else play the Professor Layton games on DS?
Nope.
No.
Never really had a DS.
Okay, fair. They're really fun, but I can't remember if they're kind of point and click or if you can move around. I can't remember because I haven't played them in a very long time. But yeah, no, point and click rooms.
Oh, okay, right. So I've been sat here quietly the whole time trying to think what you mean by point and click. But like Command and Conquer, Age of Empires.
Well,
Kind
in a
of.
sense, it's
Think more like Sims.
Okay, yeah.
In terms of how you're moving around, you literally click somewhere, he moves over there, and then you click on like things in the environment.
or you have a button that is to examine an object, and then an action button to use it.
Yeah.
And you combine items to get through to different places. Yeah, it's just something that I sort of miss, I suppose.
Yeah, I do too. To be honest, I'd love a new.
Because is LucasArts Studio still going, like the gaming one? Because they did all like the Monkey Island and Indiana Jones and all that kind of stuff.
It'd be cool if they, because I mean, Lucas, what they call them, Lucas Film Games.
I think so. Yeah.
Stupid name, but that is what they were originally called as well. But I don't know. Hopefully they have all those licenses, and they're obviously doing an indie game with Bethesda. So hopefully that they could do something with that.
Make it happen.
To bring it. Yeah, maybe they're the ones to bring it to 2022, 3, maybe is when that's going to come out.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah, I'm with you. I really want. I played one when I was really young. I was really into it, and I cannot remember for the life of me what it's called. I've been trying to remember, but I grew up on some point and click games as well. And it just, man, it is a shame when genres like that go. But it's like anything in gaming. Like it does eventually come back round.
Yeah, there will be some sort of nostalgic resurgence, you know. But
I mean, Grim Fandango got remade.
Yeah, that's just good fun. That's really tongue in cheek and really just quite silly, but it's really, really infinitely playable for me.
And I mean, even to that degree, everything is either like quite cartoony, super serious, or you don't really get too much tongue in cheek in gaming at the moment.
No.
I feel like it's something that we are missing.
I feel like they miss the mark when they try to go tongue in cheek these days as well.
Yeah, because they do it a lot of the time it's almost too kiddie sort of thing. It's almost too safe.
Yeah.
Or a bit faddish and just a bit like.
Yeah, and that's never gonna last.
Yeah, trendy for those young'uns.
Yeah, I mean,
God, I'm so old.
Yeah, I was gonna say, speak for yourself, man. Like,
yeah. I am the oldest 29-year-old in the world right now.
you literally are. You said a forbidden word.
Yeah. Oh, look at those. They're trendy.
Oh, no. If you're talking about someone's shoes, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Trendy.
I mean, I wouldn't feel comfortable saying that to any man. They're trendy. What?
That would probably be an insult to half the population. They'd be like, God damn, no.
Yeah.
Don't want to do that to like a hipster or something. How about you, Jake? What's some of your favorite games?
I mean, I feel like I've said them quite a bit, but obviously Legend of Zelda and all of that. So that is literally what I used to play as a kid. So I wasn't that into, as I said, gaming as a kid.
Sure.
Obviously the Mario games on Game Boy Color and that will. In fact, actually, more specifically, Game Boy Advance. And in fact, now that I'm talking about Game Boy Advance, I remember having a Bruce Lee side-scrolly game on Game Boy Advance. That
sounds amazing.
Yeah, no, it was just the sickest game. You could pick up nunchucks and all sorts of other weapons. And oh man, what was that game called?
I'm looking it up. Return of the Legend.
Yeah, it could have been anything like that. 'Cause that
is
very Bruce
such
Lee.
a great name. Yeah.
No. I've looked it up. That's what it's called.
Yeah. It was just quality, man. Solid.
Oh, it was made by Vicarious Visions, who did
The remake for Crash.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well. Here's hoping because.
Imagine that.
I used to spend hours and hours playing that game. It wasn't the most in-depth thing in the world, but the further you got through it, it really did get quite hard later on. It's just a hell of a lot of fun.
You're not going to get a remake for that because they've just joined, they've just been. It's not acquired by Blizzard because Activision and Blizzard are the same company.
Yeah.
But they've moved over to the Blizzard side of stuff, and they're working on the Diablo 2 remake. So,
but why?
You're not going to get a...
No, to be honest, I don't need a remake of that. But no, the other thing I was going to say, so I recently discovered, as in yesterday discovered on my iPhone, that I can play Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. Obviously for a fee because, Apple. I played those games enough to not say I played them to death, but enough to say I played them a lot. But seeing them on the App Store just instantly, for some reason I didn't even think about it. I was just like, yeah, I'm having it. I'm getting it. I mean, they're great games. They are, in my opinion, what a lot of RPG games are lacking these days. They should probably go back and take a bit of a look at those games and go, oh yeah, this is where we fucked up, especially Mass Effect. Mass Effect.
Oh, I like Mass Effect.
Yeah, well, Mass Effect came from the same company, didn't it?
What was the one that ballsed up? Was that Andromeda?
Yeah.
And 3.
And 3?
Yeah.
I thought 3 was quite well
Well,
received.
supposedly the ending.
It's
Right.
questionable. Some people didn't mind it, but everyone hated it really, and then they made a new one.
Yeah, it was supposed to be multiple choice, and then those multiple choice just came down to what pretty colours were going to fly off at the end.
Yeah.
It was really the only difference.
Yeah, I mean, the Mass Effect games weren't like horrendous. I couldn't get into them so much, just again because like space vibe isn't really my vibe either.
Sure.
But
Sure.
obviously, as said before, games like Dead Space, you know, amazing.
Did you get into Dragon Age?
So I kept trying to over the past couple of years, but I feel like it looks really dated to me now, and
Sure.
I've got this thing with RPG games like that because there is a flowing story between them, from what my mate said. But you don't necessarily
think
have
there
to
is.
play the games. I'm sure that's what he said to me, but
I haven't played them.
Yeah.
I've got Inquisition, but I've only played
Yeah.
a little bit.
I
Of it,
don't think
but
it's
as
necessary.
far as I was told, I don't think there is.
yeah, I think.
I think there's literally one character,
Yeah.
from what I've been
Oh,
told.
okay,
But I
well.
don't know if the story actually flows
Yeah.
through.
Basically, what I gathered from what he was saying was you don't need to have played the other games. I guess it's like a Dark Souls game, yeah. You don't need to have played
Right.
the other Dark Souls games, but it might help you in some of the more like meta item descriptions further down the line. Although, actually saying that,
Yeah.
I think Dark Souls, they did a really good job of keeping each game open to new audiences.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. But yeah, the KOTOR games, absolutely awesome. Amazing storytelling and choices that actually matter to the game. You know, if you make a bad choice, then it leads to bad things. And if you want bad things to happen, then that's great.
Yeah.
You know, in a
it's
weird
got one of the
twist,
best-
two bads make a good.
Well, I mean, I was going to say it's got like one of the best twists in gaming history in it as well.
Yeah.
The whole I kind of like I found out about that before I tried to play it,
Yeah.
and it kind of diminished some of my motivation to play it. But
I
I'm
can
far enough-
understand that.
I'm far enough away from that now that I kind of just want to.
Thing is, it genuinely
Just go.
makes me sad that these stories aren't. I know they're working on it, but that these stories aren't a part of the canon
Yeah.
for Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because again, it just would bring so much to the table for the series, and probably open it up a bit more to what the
Yeah.
original films and the sequels.
I mean, they
and
are talking
prequels
about doing like one set hundreds of years before any of the Skywalker stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe there's hope. Maybe. And there's always rumors of one of, if not both of, the KOTOR games getting remade.
They already canonized Revan as a character, I think, in the cartoon
Yeah.
series. I didn't watch any of it though. This is literally just conversations that I used to have with
Sure.
my store manager whilst having a cigarette.
Um,
He was basically explaining the Clone Wars to me because I was like, well, I feel like there's just a load of stuff I don't know.
yeah.
This was whilst watching The Mandalorian because I was like, I've seen this Ahsoka character, but you know,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. I've always wanted to go back and fully watch Clone Wars, but so much of it is just bad.
yeah. It just looks like dribble
like-
to me,
it's-
man. Like,
A lot of it is just really bad. And then half of it's really good, but I'm like, I can't be bothered.
yeah.
Like there is even there's like a proper way to watch them in like proper order where you watch a certain movie and then go back to the TV show and then go to a book stuff. I'm like, I can't be bothered.
Oh
with
god,
that.
that's so much hassle.
Can't be bothered.
I used to love reading the
Yeah.
books when I was a kid, actually. But again, none of that's canon anymore either. So
No, they're doing a weird thing where none of it's canon, but they're taking pieces from it and like adjusting things.
yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
So-
They kind of have to. Also, remake the
Yeah.
last three films. That'd be grand.
Yeah, I mean, I was okay up until the final one. Because the final one just tried to make 3 movies in one movie and it was a mess.
Yeah.
It was a mess, but
Anyway, before we isolate Tom even more by talking more about Star Wars,
Oh, sorry guys, I was fell asleep just for a sec.
Did you ever play the damn it, Fallen Order, Tom?
I have played one Star Wars game.
No. Did you play the Fallen Order, that last one that came out, the Dark Soulsy?
Oh, no, I never did.
Genuinely.
So remember you said you were kind of interested.
Yeah, I think my dislike for Star Wars outweighed how
For sure.
how decent I thought the game looked.
I mean, just play Sekiro. It just doesn't glow as much.
Yeah.
I was going to say, as
Pretty
far
much
as like Dark Souls / Sekiro clones go, it's probably way up there on the.
Yeah.
You did a really good job of that. Why did it come from EA?
I mean, EA didn't actually make it.
No,
It was
I know.
Respawn who did Titanfall, but
It's-
it makes me sad because they're not going to make a new Titanfall game, and Titanfall 2 was great.
yeah,
Shame.
I just like a reason to slag off E EA.
Yeah, I think, there's enough of them, so
Yeah.
take your pick.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't? Who doesn't? Who doesn't? I mean, I'm quite simple. I think loads of people know that my kind of favorite games. I still really, really love the original Metal Gear Solid. Out of all of them, I'd still preference that one.
Yes,
Especially after 3. Like 4 was, it was good, but you can tell Kojima lost his co-writer who kept his like madness in check, and then he just everything was nanomachines, everything. And then Metal Gear 5 was just a bit of a disaster, to be honest, because his stories just don't work in open world, as I think I discussed last week after Death Stranding. Huge fan of Bully. I love Bully.
Yeah, Bully, man.
That's probably my favorite game.
yeah, I enjoyed Bully.
I've-
I didn't get into it that much, though.
Sure. I've probably completed that more than 8, 9, 10 times at this point.
Yeah, I think I've done it a couple of times. It's great. It's just the way they sort of do bosses. Always
Yeah,
just
I mean,
really made me laugh. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
the big, like, tyrant kid. He's just really, I think he's called
Yeah,
Russell.
yeah.
He's like, Russell Smash! He's like the fucking Incredible Hulk at this prep school. It's just hilarious.
Yeah. I love the way they do characters. It's the way they in particular there's it's the cheerleading chick, I think it is. I remember early on. And
Right.
she's just an absolute bitch, but then I can't remember how it happens, but there's a bit where you just sit and talk to her in like the bleachers
Right.
inside. I like their characters are just so deep. Like they're all bullies, but there's like kind of justifiable reason why they're dickheads behind it. It's like, they're still dickheads, so it's not good,
Yeah.
but they are very human, sort of thing. And that felt a little bit before its time. Everything like PS2 was tend to be, what you see is what you get a lot of the time. And it was quite refreshing to have actually human, and especially in a school setting, because obviously when that came out in like 2007,
It's
8,
got, something like that. Yeah.
somewhere around there. Like I would have still been in school. So having a game set in a school, and then actually, not really caring about actual classes, and then going to the classes in game and them actually being really fun. And
Yeah.
you're getting like immediate rewards. Like if you did the geography class, it would unlock a map where you could find. It would highlight where the collectibles are and shit like that.
There's one with the,
Adorable game.
I think it's the art class, but you'll like be basically got like unveil parts of the portrait, but it's basically as the lessons go on, it's just a more revealing portrait of the teacher.
Yeah, it just gets more and more suggestive.
Yeah.
Like she's just posing. Like,
Yeah,
Titanic over there. Yeah. So it's like we said earlier. It is very, very tongue in cheek. It is. I always wished either that there was a sequel, which apparently was in development up until 2-3 years ago, and they got cancelled.
Right.
And they were going to do a much more cartoony style to get around all the bullying controversy. Or the other idea I've always had for it is if there was a sequel, but it was just a Grand Theft Auto game where you played as Jimmy but a bit older. So then,
Wasn't there a
it was still
theory
mainline.
that he was basically the dude from 3? Like, or was that like just?
I think there was.
I mean, obviously it's
something like
highly
that, but-
inaccurate, but like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
the silent
it's-
dude from 3 would almost fit his character, bar the lack of the hair color.
Yeah, and he's called Claude.
Yeah, yeah.
He has a name. Like, I would have loved that. I think the characters are so cool and so well written that it sucks that we haven't been able to revisit that. I play it like every year or so, so it's still quite fresh and still oddly feels relatively new to me because I am constantly like in that world sort of thing. But new stuff would have been cool, especially with the leaked like cartoony art style they had. I thought that looked really cool and it looked very, very different from anything else Rockstar did.
Yeah, definitely.
I just kind of want Rockstar to do like that Agent game. They were meant to be making a game called Agent, and all we saw was the splash screen and nothing in like 10 years. Just want a bit more from them, I think. They've done well with Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead. I feel like they can experiment a bit more now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, is it going to be, such limited releases from Rockstar recently? I mean, obviously the releases they've done have absolutely knocked out the park. So it's like, all right, we can just be satisfied that game's going to make us billions. So
Yeah.
there's nothing pushing them to make more.
Yeah, I mean, and they've lost quite a lot of people from Rockstar as well. Like Dan Houser, for instance, who literally was the head writer on everything from, I think, Grand Theft Auto 3 onwards.
Right.
Like literally up until Red Dead 2, he was just like, cool, I'm out.
Jeez.
Like, and he is one of the founding members.
Yeah, it's a big loss.
And they've lost a bunch of other writers that have been with them for years. So I do worry a bit about what's going on over there, because there were rumors that that Take-Two wanted them to push out games a bit quicker and have more games available, because they didn't make anything for this last generation. They remade, well, apart from Red Dead, sorry. Whereas obviously previously they'd had 2-3 games out. Like, I think they could have done another like LA Noire kind of thing. I think could have been quite cool.
That game was horrendously bad.
It was pretty bad.
In my
But as a
humble
tech
opinion.
Demo, there was some redeeming things about it. It didn't need to be open world. That was pointless.
Yeah.
The open world was just there to look pretty, but
There's an open world with
as a tech
nothing in
demo-
it.
I actually
Yeah.
didn't enjoy it at all.
Really?
I
I think
like the detective
I think that's a little harsh.
No, I genuinely didn't. Like, yeah, it may be a little harsh, but I remember I was super hyped to play it, and my girlfriend at the time actually bought it for me, and then I just had to be like, yo, this is trash.
You broke up soon after.
Yeah, instantly.
I mean, man, I really liked the detective stuff.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
Even
I didn't
though-
get far enough into it, but like, I don't know. I played a bit like you did with Skyrim. Yeah, I played probably a good 3 to 4 hours of the game, and
Right.
it just, yeah, I just couldn't.
Yeah. Oh, fair. Yeah, I mean that's fair. I completely get why people don't like it, because it is a bit shit, to be honest.
It's just very limited, isn't it? Like
It is.
It's got that sort of face capture sort of stuff and all that going on. But as a game, like once you get through and you start going up the ranks and all that, there's nothing really in the world.
No.
It's quite nice to like drive around with and have a chat with your buddy in the car, but other than that, it's just a bit meh.
Like, it really should just be a linear mission to mission game. There's no point in the open world at all.
No, it didn't benefit it at all.
A lot of games really tried to do that, didn't they? So, like, take Mafia 2 as an example. Like, the story. I love the game. Before I go any further, I think it's amazing. But the story is so linear. The fact that you have an open world is completely unnecessary, because there's never any point in that game that I felt the need to drive around. They did the exact same thing in the Mafia remake. So the remake of the first game, they gave it the open worldness that was completely unnecessary, because all you'll ever find yourself doing in that game is going mission to mission. because that's what there is to do in that game, and the stories are so. If you haven't played them, you need to play them. The stories will captivate you in a really, really good way, especially the remake of the first one. But that was solid.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd put that up on.
I played the third one.
I only played
didn't
3,
the
yeah,
third
'cause
one.
I quite like.
wasn't
I
great.
like the characters in 3.
Yeah, I really didn't
I'm
like
not-
the third one.
I don't think the story's great or the game is any
Bad
good
game.
overall, but I like the characters.
I didn't get on with it at all. It was free, I think, on the store, so I gave it a go,
What I was
but
going to say,
very poor.
just completely gone.
Play one
I think
and two.
that's kind of the problem that me and Tom had with Ghost of Tsushima as well, actually. So the open world was kind of pointless.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm going to. But that's the open world thing is a similar problem. I think Tom had as well with Ghost of Tsushima
yeah, definitely.
because it didn't need to be open world.
It looked fucking gorgeous, but
It was really pretty, but there was nothing in it. It was just really void. Apart from, like, I get it that there are supposed to be Mongolians roaming around and everyone's scared of them, but then they've got camps that are just out in the open that are very easy to spot.
yeah,
It's
it's a weird one. Like, I would still recommend it, but I'm not sure how much I liked it.
Yeah, so I was gonna.
I know
say,
that's weird, but like,
I still really, really want to play that game. In spite of like all the, because I haven't really heard people say too much good about it, bar visuals.
Most people are really high on it.
Well, most of what I've heard from people I know that have played it, it's just been like, yeah, it's a game, is worth playing, and there's never anything like. I don't hear any of my friends saying anything overly positive about it, I guess, is what I should say there.
Sure.
And I tend to find I have quite a bit in common gaming wise, friends. But it's not once stopped me from wanting to play it because I just dig that entire aesthetic. Like everything about it is.
Sure.
That's why I was so hyped on Sekiro. Like when that came out, everything about it, I was just like, yeah, this is awesome. I'm gonna play this game and I'm gonna get stuck at Genichiro and never play it again.
I mean, I think that's a good point because we're all into the Souls games to some degree or another. Where did you got started with Souls 1, right?
Me?
Jake? Yeah, you got started with Dark Souls 1.
No, I technically started on Demon Souls.
Oh, fair.
Didn't realise the games were linked when the first
You were
Dark Souls
very
game
early.
came out.
Sure.
Yeah, I used to have a PS3 until it YOLO'd on me with The Last of Us in it, and I took a hammer to it.
Oh,
yeah.
I remember that. Brutal. The thing that I find really interesting between the two of you is that Jake really doesn't like Bloodborne, but Tom, that's where you got started, and you love Bloodborne.
Yeah, it baffles me that anyone wouldn't like Bloodborne.
I don't know what.
Like
Me too.
It's very different, isn't it? It's very like it focuses more on a sort of dash and dodge kind of.
You're far more.
You know what?
attacking,
Yeah.
If I'm gonna sit here and completely reason it out now, because Sekiro's very much got a lot of similar mechanics to Bloodborne. Yeah, it's sort of like a mid ground, I guess, between the two games. Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes down to the aesthetic ultimately as to what I like and dislike. So obviously, Dark Souls is very medieval. You got your heavy gear on and love the aesthetic of it. And then Sekiro's playing off of that samurai theme, and again completely love the aesthetic of it. And then you've got Bloodborne, which falls into this like Victorian-esque twisted world, which I love that in films and anything like that, but I don't know, from a game it just doesn't appeal to me too much.
Fair.
Stylistically, I guess, is probably a large part of what put me off from it, which is weird to say because I remember when it was being announced, I was like properly hyped for it. I remember talking to my mate about it and being like, yo, this game's going to be amazing, it's going to be sick. But then it was actually getting into the world, I just couldn't.
Sure.
get
Sure,
into
sure.
it. Like,
Were you originally excited for it just because it was another like FromSoft game, or was
oh,
it
most likely.
you actually looked at
I
it?
mean, look, the weapons and the ideas behind the weapons was sick. Like, yeah, I got some
dude,
massive
yeah.
battle axe thing that I can like fold down into a smaller battle axe, and I've got
yeah.
a
Yeah.
gun.
Yeah, they're really
I think
cool.
the gun kind of is another thing that put me off it a little bit.
Yeah, I never really used a
Yeah,
gun.
See, I like the gun because if you can get that stagger on, like certainly on some stagger bosses, it can be really handy. And just like dealing with general sort of enemies and fodder, it's I like the gun.
How are you doing on Dark Souls 2, by the way? So, you played it last week.
I'm exactly the same place as I was last week. I haven't touched it. I'm very much like that with my FromSoft games. I'll flip between them, and people will probably get annoyed at me for doing that, but that's just the way I do it.
Fair.
Yeah, so I'll come back to it again, and
one
Fair,
of these
fair.
days.
one of these days, bro.
I think it's about time we talked about Dead Space, don't you, Jake?
I mean, I could go on about Dead Space for a good hour and 35 minutes on its own if you needed me to. So,
I mean,
What do you want me to
I-
do,
I-
boss?
I adore Dead Space. It's so cool.
I-
So cool. I'm so happy that we're getting. Ah, damn it! I forgot the name of it again. Whatever
Spiritual
the spiritual
successor,
is.
yeah.
Project.
I can't remember.
Something?
I'm not the one to
Yeah,
ask that sort of thing too.
I don't remember. But it was like, it's one of those really simple, like, duh. Of course. Why haven't we just put it in space?
Yeah. Straight
Sort
up.
of thing.
Hey, what's an amazing game with really cool game mechanics? Oh yeah, Resident Evil. That's sick.
Resident Evil.
What's a pretty interesting aesthetic that could appeal to more people and appeal to people that like Resident Evil games? Oh, space. Yeah, you know what? Let's just call it Dead Space. Let's get that straight out of the bat.
Yeah.
Perfect. Done.
Exactly. And then
I
Three
like
happened.
it.
killed it.
It's a subtle blend of mindless violence and puzzles.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Which
amazing.
is, when you break it down, that is what Resident Evil is. It's just put it in a cool space aesthetic. Until you get to the end boss, which is a bit meh. but they always are when you get to the end.
Look, I mean, yeah, it's like you say, like you get to the end of anything. I mean, you got to the end of the Resident Evil 2 remake, right? And what a letdown that final fight is.
Wait, which one?
Well, okay, we'll go for Leon's campaign.
Do you mean like? Okay, right. Sure.
So that was like, it's lackluster. In fact, I definitely shat myself more playing the original Resident Evil 2 than I did playing the. I mean, I was a lot younger as well, but
For sure.
like, I think it was harder as well on the original, and that's not just because of
It would
the
have been with the tank
mechanics.
controls.
Yeah, but you have to remember back then I was a tank pro,
Yeah, sure. That would have been what you were used to.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Dead Space though. Just the tie between the two games. Have you played Dead Space, Tom?
Yes, Dead Space 2.
Oh, you didn't play the first one first.
No, I don't.
Oh man,
All
I've only played the
right.
first one so far.
I can't remember how I played it. I mean,
With your hands.
it might have just been a demo. I don't know if I ever owned a copy of
Okay.
it.
Do you remember anything about Dead Space 2?
Yeah, it's in space and that. You've got like a little chainsaw
Yeah,
thing.
you did.
Okay, I think you're safe. I think you're safe. I think you're safe to start with
So I
one
was gonna say, so
and not.
Dead Space 1, obviously, you play the entire game on this ship, yeah? And you're properly locked into it, and you're like, genuinely jumping, because it's got some really good jump scares in it. I mean, a lot of the sort of unsequenced ones become pretty obvious because you're like, okay, well, there's a vent there. Nothing's going to come out of that one. There's a vent there. Something might come out of that one. And if you see a third vent, then you know for sure that it's coming out of the vent behind you.
Yeah,
That's a bad vent.
Or if you see like a dead body in front of you, like let's shoot that first.
Just stomp on its head because you need it for the achievement anyway. And, but yeah, so you spend the entire game just running through this ship, having a really, really terrible, terrible time. And like I really would not recommend it. And then you come into the second game, and you know you're in a bit of a new setting. You're still like within the confines of what the game is. You're inside a space station, isn't it? And you know shit's going on. And then you find yourself back on the ship from the first game that you spent like 12 hours. Because I think the game's runtime probably is around 12 hours.
Yeah.
That you spent 12 hours running around in with little to no ammo, not really knowing what you was doing. And they just, you know, you go back through that ship and you sort of like re-experience what you got from the first game in the second game. And there's moments where you're going through it and you're expecting something to happen and it doesn't. And then it does as well at certain points of it. I just thought, like, as far as tying two games together, I mean, like, number one, the story is coherent between the two. Unlike the Resident Evil games, because the story is not coherent between them. Hence why there's so many offshoots to try and bring continuity.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think I've ever really played a game series like that where I've gone back into the second game. You know, I knew what to expect from the second game. It was going to be more of the same, and I was going to really enjoy it. But to then chuck me back essentially into the first game and sort of like remind you of everything you did in the first game as well, like as far as like subtle touches go, that was I think that's probably why I really rate the Dead Space games. Like literally that segment there. I mean, they're great games anyway, but the fact that they actually decided to do that.
It's the one with that eye thing near the beginning.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. That's pretty classic. Yeah.
No, I hate
I haven't
things.
I haven't played 2 yet, but I know a fair bit about it from like list videos and stuff like that. It baffles me how EA have always been the type to chase whatever's popular. So obviously Resident Evil would have been popular at the time, and then just completely screw it up. How do you screw it up so badly after you've had 2 pretty stellar games?
Yeah.
Well,
Just let them do what they do and then leave them.
So here's the thing. I think they looked at Resident Evil 5 and they went, hey, that game still sold loads of money.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it did. Because fans of Resident Evil, especially Resident Evil 5, yeah, probably why a lot of people look at it as such a huge letdown is because Resident Evil 4, for a lot of people, was like a peak in the series.
Yeah,
it was an amazing game. But I, you know, personally still had love for the old ones over 4. Do love 4 though. But 5 still sold, and it had this multiplayer option. And that's sick. And we're EA, and we're gonna cash in on that, and you know, make this horrendous. I think I got about 3 hours into the game at most. That's a real push.
I'm quite thankful because when I picked up the Dead Space games, 3 wasn't available on Steam. Otherwise, I would have just got a collection, but I don't. So hopefully, it just ends off quite nicely for me whenever I play 2.
I mean, 2 ended well enough.
Yeah, that's the end of the story. Then I don't need to bother with 3. I don't own it, so I'm not going to bother with 3.
Yeah, don't.
But speaking of like games that kind of loop back on themselves and go back to where they started, one of my favorite franchises is BioShock.
Yeah,
I adore BioShock. I haven't played the second one. I've only played 1 and Infinite. And it's kind of the Dark Souls thing where 2 wasn't made by the same guy who made 1 and Infinite.
Yeah.
So it feels kind of a bit like an outlier, but it is meant to be really good.
So it's actually my favourite.
Is it really?
Yeah. Which
did you play Infinite as well? Then?
Yeah, I played Infinite.
Okay, cool.
I did enjoy Infinite. I feel like it almost took away from BioShock for me a little. It was a great game, but I don't know.
I love Infinite. I mean I adore both of the ones I've played. I want to do like a proper run through and play 1 again.
Yeah.
Play 2 and then.
I mean, you could easily never play 2, but I mean,
I have
Yeah,
So-
just play it.
I'm currently in that world. And it's another one of those games where there's constant rumors that there is a new one being made, and I'm just like, what are they going to do? Are they going to put it in space? Kind of hope not, because that's kind of done to death at this
I
point.
just hope they don't.
I hope they find something.
I
Yeah,
I think I said it in one of
what as
the
in?
earlier episodes, like in the first one, I think. Some new IPs would be nice.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
either remakes, remasters, or continuations, which it's fine. Keep continuing games and keep pumping out really good remakes. But to see some actual new IPs,
Yeah. I mean, that's what I really appreciate about Sony and PlayStation in general, because every generation they bring 2 or 3 new, very good, very high quality IPs. Like Horizon was great. Last of Us is obviously one from the PS3 area with Uncharted. They are constantly building.
yeah,
And it's, I think there is something to be said for going back to certain wells. I mean, kind of like Valve did with Half-Life, because they revisited that well for the first time in God knows how long, and they made it completely VR, and it got like tens everywhere. I'm yet to play it because I'm working my way through the
Yeah.
series, but if you can, like Valve did, where you go back to something and just spin it and make it do something different or be considered in a different way, I think this is a cool thing that you could do. And I think, like we said earlier with the remakes, there are certain ones being made for preservation purposes, like they don't have the original source code or whatever, they don't have access to whatever things, so they've got to remake it in a certain way instead of straight up re-releasing it. But then if you look at it like the Final Fantasy VII remake, they're potentially making it the way they always wanted to, but just couldn't 20 years ago because of certain tech limitations and stuff like that.
yeah.
So it's, I get both sides of it.
Well, the thing I'd say about
that's why I love-
Square is, I mean, they're always pushing new IPs based around similar
Sure.
things, but it's a new IP anyway. But they made that remaster, but alongside it, they've also been developing new Final Fantasy games. They never stopped. I mean, so much so we've got one. Probably looks like the most interesting new Final Fantasy game that's come out since Final Fantasy 10 or no 12.
Sure.
Sorry, is it 12?
Probably 12.
I was gonna say it is by the people that it was 14 online.
15.
Yes.
Is it 14? So it's no 15
Oh
was
yeah,
the
15.
the
yeah,
boy
yeah,
band.
11 and 14 were online.
Yeah.
Okay, so 16 is being made by the people who did 14.
Right. Okay.
So I don't know what that means for 14.
Yeah, that's...
Because people really like 14, but I don't know what that means for whatever's going on with 14.
Yeah.
I don't know if that means someone else is going to take over or what, but
Interesting.
it looks kind of cool. I like that they are going for a different look this time. They are going a bit more towards the roots sort of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, talking of new-ish IPs, did anybody else play Control?
No, we
No.
touched on this last time, didn't we? I need
Yeah.
to. I
Yeah.
have it, and I've been meaning to for the longest time.
I really dig shit like that, like the weird kind of X-Files-y kind of just weird shit.
Yeah.
That anything that Remedy do really, because that is their whole thing. I think we touched on. Did we touch on Max Payne last week as well?
Yeah.
I think we said about
Yeah.
Max Payne. I'd love for that, but they don't own it anymore. It's such a shame. There are so many games that are just tied up in legal nonsense that we're just never going to get actual remakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then Callisto Protocol is what the Dead Space game is called,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
which looks
Yeah,
very
it
cool.
did.
I cannot wait for that. But then it is, even though it's a new IP, it is potentially still Dead Space sort of thing. So it is a weird balance.
Yeah, I
in
mean,
it.
the thing is that they're not going to be able to just completely reuse the story from those
No.
games.
No. I mean, I'd imagine it will just be a completely new. Like, it is odd how many like spiritual successors we are seeing at the minute, from like Bloodstained, and I think there was even like a Mega Man one at some point, or like Ukulele is a spiritual successor to like Banjo-Kazooie and stuff like that.
Right.
We are seeing so many spiritual successors at the moment, which is kind of cool because it does mean new IPs, even if
Yeah, I mean,
they
I'm
are kind of
down with
dated in
it.
their approach.
Spiritual successor, at the end of the day, if you're a spiritual successor of something, it just means you've taken a large amount of influence from the source in it, which is fine because we enjoyed the source. We don't need to see the source on every meal. Sometimes chips without ketchup is delicious.
I mean, most of the ones that do really well are like the actual original creators that have just been like held down, not being able to do anything for years, so then they can actually finally get out and make the thing they want.
Yeah.
Almost like Bungie did when they got free of making Halo and just went and did Destiny for ages.
Yeah.
But then that turned
Apparently
into
Destiny's
a bit
pretty
of a hellscape.
like a pretty sick game these days.
Yeah, I
It
think
is
they've done a lot of
very
work
good
on it.
mechanically. Yeah. Like, it just straight up shooting is some of the best. The shooting mechanics are incredible. It doesn't do a lot for me because I'd always wanted to like have one of those kind of live service games where I just fully like get into it, but none have ever clicked. They've never got the story element down for me.
Yeah.
Right.
The shooting and stuff like that is great in Destiny. It is incredible, but there's just not enough to hold my attention for that long.
Yeah, I can see that.
Unfortunately, that's why I always fall off for stuff like FIFA as well. Like, it's fun for an hour or so, but
You know what?
after that, it's just kind of
I don't like football. Never been into
Hey, do
football.
Meow.
I don't like football, but I can easily sit there and play FIFA around someone's house, like just two man up on
Just
the
mindlessly,
controller when it stays on, sort of thing. It's easy enough. And that's where I've always seen that sort of a game.
Yeah. But that's more the enjoyment of the couch co-op thing that you just don't see anymore.
Yeah.
Isn't it? And that's just
Yeah.
what's comfortable.
Yeah,
So I could happily play any game couch co-op, to be honest. Like,
for sure.
doesn't really matter what it is.
Yeah, man.
Man, that is something that does need to make a comeback. We're getting little bits and pieces, but nothing substantial yet. It does tend to be not necessarily indie games, but quite small level games. Like, did you ever get around to playing? Oh, damn it! What's it called? You got it's like Prison Break. You got to break out.
Oh,
of
the
prison.
escape.
A Way Out.
A Way Out.
Oh no.
A Way Out.
I did want to. Again, it might have just been more of an idea than, it's probably quite fun.
It is. It's one of those where it's a fine game, but depending on who you're playing with, it is like me and my brother played it, and there's a bit where you got a canoe down some proper rapids, and we just kept fucking it up, and we had to pause because we were like dying laughing. Like, there's so many stupid moments that the game kind of takes seriously, but it fully knows that it's not a serious moment, sort of thing.
Right, sure.
So it is really funny. And the devs of that are making a new game called It Takes Two, which is a similar thing. So only one person has to buy it, and then you can co-op with someone else for free.
Nice.
They've just got to download the demo, I think.
It takes two.
It's a really, really cool idea, and it looks stupidly fun. I cannot wait for that. But I'll play. I forgot what it's called again.
A Way Out.
A Way Out. I'll play A Way Out. Would you?
Do
A
it.
Way Out is good fun, and you can finish it in like 3 hours. I think
Yeah.
it's not a long game. It's not a long game by any means, but it is a really.
How much
fun.
did it retail at?
Probably about 30
For
quid.
3
I think.
hours.
Do you think it was 30 quid?
I don't. Yeah, I think so.
Maybe.
I think it was. I don't think it was that much. A Way Out.
Because it's quite cheap on the store now. It's only like a tenner, I think. Like.
Yeah.
That's acceptable.
Oh yeah, that's how much games should be. Every game.
Yeah, I think it was £30.
Madness.
Because it is, like I say, it's not an indie game, but it is. I can't remember what they call it, but I think it's like an EA kind of art style game. It's not like a big developer's working on it. It is someone they funded, like they've given money to help them along, sort of thing.
Right. Okay.
But I'd highly recommend looking at It Takes Two, because the trailer just looks stupidly fun. And going off of, what they've done previously. To be fair, I think both of the games they've done previously have been co-op focused, so they could really be driving it. But co-op games do really need to make a comeback.
Yeah, big time.
Because they're doing the new Arkham game, whatever that's called, if it ever comes out, is meant to be co-op. So that'd be kind of interesting to see how they do that and build a world around being able to jump in and out with different heroes and that.
Yeah, that'd be fucking sick.
Because that could be really cool. And they're bringing the Court of Owls in, as it looks like the main villains. And I fucking the Court of Owls.
Yeah, you've wanted that for a long time. We've spoken about that before, haven't you?
Yeah, the Court of Owls is so good.
I mean, yeah, Court of Owls
such
is
a cool villain.
pretty much best.
They're awesome. Yeah, they're awesome. I'd love for them to be done in a movie. But
I don't think that's ever going to
I
happen.
don't know if I trust people. No, I don't think so. They did it in Gotham, I think, the TV show, but I didn't. I longed it out by the time.
Yeah, I fell off of that TV show very, very quickly.
Same. It took itself too seriously, and then when it stopped taking itself seriously, I'd already gone. So
Yeah.
it was far too late.
Yeah.
It's a shame. It is a shame. There's another Arkham game they're doing. Oh, Suicide Squad. They're actually doing a Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Ooh.
The trailer looks cool, but I don't know. It looks like it's probably a live service game like the Avengers, and it
Right.
wasn't good.
Yeah.
Avengers really wasn't. So I'm kind of worried about that one.
Let it burn.
Hey,
I've done with it.
do you have a favorite game of all time to finish off on?
Ooh, that's tough, isn't it? I mean, yeah. Whenever you were asked that question, it's like, okay, so you almost want to sort of break it down like into genres or most played,
Yeah,
or
for sure.
because if it's most played, it's going to be something like the original Final Fantasy VII, which is actually probably up there anyway. Obviously, the remake smashed it, and we know that.
Oh, I cannot wait for.
Yeah,
I mean, even the Yuffie DLC. I can't wait for that. But I just want the second part.
yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, given it's your first time playing it. Oh no,
Yeah.
you've been playing the PS1 one, haven't you? Or a little bit.
Yeah, I played up to where the remake stops.
Right. Yeah.
I
So
can't- yeah.
then
Sorry, go on.
also FF10 will be up there as well.
Okay.
I'm just sort of thinking like in terms of more recently, like The Last of Us is
Yeah.
as near a perfect to a game you're going to get.
God of War.
God of War was fucking brilliant. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I was speaking to my nephew yesterday, and he was just getting up to doing the Valkyries, and I was like, oh, that was just horrendous. That was so much pain.
Yeah.
Because it's like, they sort of adapt every moveset on the next one. It's like, okay, you've sort of figured that one out. It's like, no, this one does all that and more.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was very, very good. That's a good
Did
shout.
you ever finish
actually.
the Valkyries?
I got to, is it Sigrun, the last one? And I was like, no, you're a bitch. See ya. That was
You
it.
get a bit of a story payoff when you finish them, apparently.
Did I borrow that from you? I think I did, didn't I?
I don't remember. I remember you. Yeah, you did. Yeah, yeah, you did.
Thank you.
It's alright. Hopefully you'll be able to play the next one. I think they're releasing it on PS4 properly.
Yeah, it's enough of that.
Maybe.
Don't put me down any further.
How about you, Jake?
Ocarina of Time. Don't even have to think about it.
Yeah, it's straight there, isn't it, for
Yeah.
you?
Nice.
It's
Cut and dry.
to not flog it over and over again, but never ever gonna forget playing that game. And it's literally just always gonna be the answer to that question for me. It's the one thing that got me into it anyway, and has pretty much influenced every other gaming choice I've ever made.
Yeah. Fair. I'm really curious to see how you'd get on with Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I'm curious as well. I have been since it came out. I think I'll either absolutely love and adore it, or I'll be wishing for polygons back.
Yeah. Bring them back. I need them.
My only genuine complaint with it is the weapon breaking mechanics. They're really annoying. And I get it's to make you have varied, make you use a bunch of different styles of weapons, stuff like that. But I don't know. If I like a specific weapon, I want to go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I like smaller, quicker weapons sort of thing. So I don't want to have to lug around and change because my quick sword or my little dagger or whatever is broken, and now I've got to lug around this massive axe that I'm not used to and completely throws you off. Sort of thing.
I feel like that in games. It's like you develop your style of playing it. You wanna stay in your lane.
Yeah. I mean that's an interesting one as well because there's a lot of rumor that the sequel that they're developing will be potentially co-op where you could play as Zelda as well, which would be quite cool because you've never actually got to play as Zelda in a mainline game.
I wouldn't want to. I'm against that idea.
Wow, make it known, mate. Goodness me.
You hear me, Nintendo? Don't fuck with my childhood.
Yeah, right.
Why would you not want to play as a badass Zelda? Link. Because she was Sheik.
Sheik and Zelda is my main in Smash Bros. Every
There's
single
even more
time.
reason to want to play as one.
Yeah, I know, but I just childhood.
No, but it's fine. Your childhood's not going anywhere.
Yeah, no one can take that away from you, mate.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
That's yours, all right? You can keep that.
No one can take my childhood away from me.
They haven't developed that yet. I'm sure they might. At some point.
Yeah.
Sure, I think they have
You
developed
might be able
it.
to
It's called
total recall
heroin.
yourself.
We got to an hour and a half, and it's the first drug reference. Very good.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
I mean,
impressed.
on that note, I mean, we'll talk about ending on a high.
Very nice. Yeah.
It's not going to get any
I
better.
appreciate
That's
it.
that's superb, mate.
We're going to leave it on that, I think, because that's peaked. It's been a bit of a tricky one because my side of stuff keeps cutting out. I don't know about anybody else.
Yeah, I had it once.
Discord's being a bit iffy, so if it goes a bit rambly and a bit odd at points, it's because Discord just keeps cutting out, and I don't know if everyone else cuts out or if it's just me or if the call's just gone. Or
Yeah,
what,
Discord might have had an update midway through or something because that's normally what happens. They'll run an
little
update
blip.
without any level of warning, and then there's issues.
Fun.
Discord wankers.
Big up.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we'll end it on my fabulous pun.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to get any better than that. My favourite game's Bully. We've done that.
Yeah.
I've said that ad nauseum. Probably will keep saying it as well. I have to play it again soon. But yeah, no. If it sounds a bit odd, it's because Discord was playing up. Half the time I'm wondering if people are actually talking or not, so I have to wait a second or two. But hey, thank you for joining me, Jake and Tom, again. Hopefully we can have you back properly next week. We'll see. We'll work out schedules and
Yeah,
stuff.
boy.
Yeah, man.
We will see.
I'm free on Friday.
I will definitely be back. Jake will definitely be back in that case as well.
Yeah, don't know.
We'll find out about Tom.
TBC.
We'll find out. It'll be fine. We'll figure something out one way or t'other. But yes, thanks for listening once again. Our last episode actually did quite well since Tom joined. So
Hey,
Well,
stop. It's not all me, guys. Hey. Team effort.
Yeah.
I made the thumbnail.
it's good fun. Good fun.
Yes, I'm glad that's what I want for the the very least is, like I said, we can't go to the pub, so
Yeah.
we'll do this.
I mean, it does
We can-
feel like we're just sat at the pub, to be honest. So, you know,
And that's exactly what I wanted.
We're just potentially annoying people on a grander scale.
boy,
Which is
my
fine.
lifelong goals have
That's
finally
okay.
been realised. I'd like to thank you, Luke, for this opportunity to get into people's heads in their own homes.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yes.
That's okay. You could do it on Spotify or YouTube. Segue that quite nicely.
Hey.
Yeah, very nice.
Not on iTunes because I don't have any Apple device to log into. Jake doesn't use iTunes.
I do not,
So-
absolutely.
What's an
Yeah.
iTune?
I don't know. It's I think it's when like you flap your eyelids really quick.
Yeah.
and they
That's
make, like, a beat or something.
see, that's exactly what I thought it was.
Yeah.
I'm so
I mean-
trendy.
Oh,
That was a really bad song.
That was. Oh, we'll definitely leave it there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Thank you for listening.
Cheers,
Bye,
boys.
trendy
Well, I
lads.
say watching. Yeah. I'll talk to you again next week.
See you soon.
Boy.
Bye.
Bye.